Okay, so hi everyone. I'm doing things a little bit differently today. So just because I'm aware that it always seems to take about half an hour for me to do the knolling, I've done that already. So all the bits are already set up, and it's also so that I can actually bring the camera in to focus a bit more on the actual construction. So hopefully, apologies about this. This is the best place I can find in the house to do it, and it is overexposing the instructions, but I will at some point, I will try and when I go through these, edit them, put the instructions in the notes so you guys can follow along, but at least you can actually see the model itself relatively easily. So we're now up to the stage of, we've done the doors, the ejector seat's done. I think we're now moving on to some of the other components, and the wheels are going on today, which is really exciting. But one thing I did promise I would show as well is, while digging through everything, put him to one side and show you. So this is something that may become other builds later on, is the collection of instructions that I managed to find when I salvaged all my Legos. So these were all in a big file, but most of the models you see with these little ones. So these would have come in these sort of like, I don't know, like the little cereal boxes. You remember, like, if when you get individual cereal boxes, these are the size. They would have been at the time somewhere between £5 and £10, I think. So, and they are variously things. I mean, you can sort of see a pattern of what I was interested in, but that was underwater shark pirates. I mean, this is before Lego really went in for the narrative of what they were doing. It was very much, here's a theme, and usually the theme got as far as a logo and some posing and possibly a description. So with that one, it is mostly standard parts, apart from this one weird slot here, which I'm not sure I've even seen this on anything else, and like some harpoons and things. Well, the main unusual bit is this diving suit thing that he's wearing, which I don't think they've even reproduced since then, because it's very specific to that. So that was the water pirate one. I've got various generations of the space one. I don't know what these were called. I'm assuming that's it's not a beta symbol, but I'm not sure. I have to look up actually what the range was, but essentially it was, these are the space ones, which were what, like 1989 to 1991, I think. Their thing was great. So each one seemed to have a specific color scheme. So theirs was black, white, and green. There are some other ones in here as well. There is something that's sort of slightly odd about when you look at some of the earlier designs. It's sort of like, where were they going with this? It's like, I get this is like a police plane, but why it has a articulated camera in it? I'd have to actually compare these with the more modern ones, but I think the sort of the toyetic nature of it does change over the years. There's a little dump truck. Hopefully I've got the truck. I've got these parts. If I've got the actual arm and the hopper, then I will be able to build that. But otherwise, I think we might have to. I'm going to have to work out which ones of these can be built. I'm pretty sure I can build the speedboat, because I'm pretty sure I've got the struts for it, which would be the bits that I would be missing. That one I have already found the little dump. I already found the little dump piece for it, and yeah, so you can see these. It's similar to the way the modern ones are done, but I think these ones are probably. I'm not sure whether or not these ones are done by hand, or these ones are definitely computerized, but these ones I'm not sure. And you could definitely see a difference in the way everything is presented. Admittedly, this is like a special edition one, which is why they have the little sketches of the various bits and pieces. But yeah, I'd probably make some of these dioramas in the end. Most of these I did buy what you either bought for me, I bought myself. With a lot of the small ones, you can see there's a really kind of abstract in the design. Like it's some wheels and a chainsaw. Okay, not really sure. I assume that would be for cutting blocks of ice. Ice Planet, 2002. I'm not sure if that was supposed to be the year or whether or not it was supposed to be like the product range. These are from like 93. There's no way in hell they thought that we were actually going to space in that time. This might be the most unusual one I've got, because this floats. I'm 90% sure I have the majority of these parts. Any parts I don't have, I can probably just order. There's a couple of few pieces like the fire axes I might be missing, and the hose, which it's a length of hose. I can probably deal with that. But if you can see, it is actually floating in it with, and I have found all the weights and all these pieces. One of them's chipped, but not enough to make it actually, not enough to actually affect its buoyancy. And I do love the little bit here, and you have a bit of it. It just says lip on the keel bottom allows you to attach different kinds of motors, not from Lego to the ship. So here, is that a standardized clip for a? I don't know. I'm not sure whether or not they even knew if there was something going to be available. It just said you can't. You know, we won't sell it, but you can get a motor. I'm not convinced, but even so, the fact I found. Well, that bit is the main bit which I needed to find, which I have now found. The rest of it, I've probably got enough parts to assemble it. And if I don't, they're not going to be complicated bits to order. So that one I actually do really want to make because it's got relatively rare bits in it. Remember I said stuff came from the dump? That, I have no idea. I literally have a couple of doors. The old Lego railway system, it went through various different iterations. I do have some of the electric parts, and that's it. I've got some monorail. No, I do have, actually looking at it now, looking at the track parts, I think I've probably got about that much track. I mean, seriously, just enough to put a train on. This is the bit which, nope, I have no idea what. I'm not even sure if you're going to get these anymore, these motorized components. I'm sorry, that's the doorbell telling me that the posties come. Yeah, I'm not going to make this, unfortunately. I've got almost everything. I got everything except the core component and the ability to run the tracks, and no. But it is nice seeing sort of the old Lego sort of dioramas. I mean, even things like motorized points, all kinds of bits and pieces, motorized railway crossings. Yeah, this is not what the town range looks like these days, but it's just interesting seeing it. So that one I'm more keeping out of curiosity than anything else. The Lego Technic stuff I always find a bit weird because it is clear they were going for let's do cool things with gears, and it never quite worked as a design, but there you go. So I've got quite a few of these, and I also have the little men. I mean, you've already seen he's about the right size to go into the DB9, which is great. I'm really happy I've got that. But these are what these are the seats specifically designed for them, so they actually do slot in. Little pirate bits. Again, some of these I'm going to have to see if I can get some spare parts because I no longer have mid doubloons. I do have the shark. Hi, Rhiannon.
Hello. How are you doing?
Not doing too badly. Let me just make sure I don't get any feedback. Yeah, just running through. Remember I said I found all my Lego stuff. I also found the file with the old instructions, so I've got enough to actually build most of these.
That's good.
So yeah, I mean, and I sort of trying to work with these because like that one's from '81, but
wow.
The majority of them, I think I've actually got the specialist parts to put them together. Like it tends to be wheels and these little bits. But that's part of what I have to go through with the inventory. I was just thumbing through these in case people are interested, because I've got a lot of them are the tiny little Lego bits. It's like that's just a raft with a shark. Yeah, it's just been interesting going through them, looking at how the designs have changed. Like roadster truck. I'm not quite sure what that's supposed to be. I think that's supposed to be like a racing truck, which is a strange concept. But and that one, the page is torn off. But it's definitely gonna be fun going through these. Some of them, you look at them and go, "What on earth was this supposed to be?" Like this one has been pointed. I actually seen someone do on YouTube. It's like he originally thought it was a dragon. I think it's supposed to be a mechanical cow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going a tractor kind of. Yeah.
Yeah, there are proper ones, but it does seem a little bit like with that, it was just like, we're going to teach engineering. So, yeah, it's been, like I said, it's been interesting going through them. That one, there's a lot of these where I think I could see when I was 10 that it's like, this is cool. It's like, so there's a truck where the top of it comes off. I don't know. I'm going to build it anyway. But
You have to give it a go and try, find out.
yeah, well, the thing ones are interesting. Like these were these underwater explorer ones where it was sort of the good guys versus the shark pirates. I'm pretty sure I've got parts for these. Yeah, this is just like a little bit of a sneak preview of what I'll be making at some point once I can find all the bits. I'm pretty sure I've got enough bits to at least attempt most of these. Yeah, so it should be. I am trying to separate out the ones where there's any screen printing on it. But yeah, I just thought it'd be fun to be able to see these, because there's especially the small ones, the level of abstraction I find kind of interesting. The way they sort of gone, well, what's the most complicated thing we can do with like what looks like a dozen parts? Yeah, it's just. Well, these I will go through. The one which I'm pretty sure I can build and will actually be kind of fun is that one. So that was like the deluxe set for like the space ice planet people. Luckily, the key bit I got was, you see, there's this thing is like this big vacuum form part, and so I think I've got all the bits to actually make this, but I'm not sure. But we'll see.
Wow, it's quite impressive.
Yeah. The interesting thing is we're trying to work out where the Lego's from, because we've worked out that a lot of it is vintage and a lot of it is from previous other members of my family. Some
wow.
salvaged or secondhand, but yeah, it's been interesting going through it.
Yeah.
But as you haven't seen what we've been working on before, that's.
Is this your car?
That's so that's a Lego DB5. That's James Bond's DB5.
Yeah.
And it's
very
they've
cool.
actually done it in like as a special edition one with all this MI5 stuff on it.
Yeah.
So yeah, and purely by chance, the old Lego Technic like test pilots, they fit almost perfectly.
Great.
But they haven't made these in like, I would have got these in the late 90s. They haven't made these in a decade or two, but they fit in the car. So I really hope that someone did have a rummage around in the archive, because I know Lego keep everything. Like they literally have at least one of every single kit they ever do. They have a huge archive. So I'm hoping that they actually got one of the little men out to test it. But
yeah.
Oh, this actually has all the gadgets. Laughing about this, there will be an ejector seat. And the one that is just so very 60s is inside, you've got a little emergency secret telephone. And so you're like in the door handle, and then there's like a radar sat nav thing. It's supposed to be like just a grill, and then it flips round. And it just feels kind of quaint that this was a big thing for them, because, well, this does that. I just thought it was funny.
How technology has changed.
Yeah, there is a bit of that, and sort of what our expectations of technology are like. I was talking about it last time, where you remember the old Austin Powers movies, and they had like the car that had the 60s like TV intercom thing, but which was science fictiony then, but then they tried to show modern technology in the late 90s, and so they had like some like very low bandwidth recorded video communication thing, and it just doesn't look as good. It's kind of weird. It's like they went from the the 60s version looks sort of campy and fun, and said, yeah, that looks fine. And then to the real equivalent, and it just looked kind of crap in comparison. It's always funny how technology ages like that, especially in spy movies where it's supposed to be state of the art. There's a bit where
Yeah. Yes. Unfortunately, the kind of real technology dates much faster than fake stuff.
yeah, it does seem to. And now I've just gone blank. I'm trying to find the next piece, which I know it. I put it down. I know it's here somewhere. I just need to find it. Ah, there we go. I think this is for the pop-out machine guns. I think so. Yeah, because there's a big red lever that does something, and I'm just trying to work out what it does as we go along. So let's see, where does he go? There's one piece I'm missing, which is that piece there. So that's going to be for pop out something or other. And come on. Right, so he goes in there, and I think I've got this right. There's a little bit of like making sure you slot bits over or under bits just to make sure that it does go in correctly. But it's interesting how they've been able to get, yeah, so that is going to be, no, something's gone wrong there. Yeah, not quite sure. Yeah, it has. I just realized what I've done is I put it too far forward. So there we go. That's better.
Has this one got all the mechanics and everything that the last one had as well?
So it's not got an engine the same way. It's more sort of like gadget based. I think this was more designed. That one was more designed, I think, as a sort of like almost like a bit of an engineering marvel. Whereas this one is much more about. It's got like the ejector seat and things. So it's going to be more of a. It's supposed to be more aesthetically like that. Yeah. So that's your little
yeah.
red lever. I'm assuming that pops the machine gun at the front. I'm trying to work my way around some of the parts because I've got six not to scale handguns. I'm not quite sure what those are for, but they're on the inventory, so I'm not 100%.
Okay.
Sorry, I just realised there was a bit earlier I didn't do. It was me looking at the wrong thing. But so how's your Christmas been?
It's been lovely, actually. Really nice.
Because you've had Maddie's mum over, haven't you?
Yeah, we have. We have basically done lots of cooking and lots of eating.
Yeah, I can definitely appreciate that. I've been doing the those Hello Fresh things from Mum. I've been doing.
Yeah. So she enjoyed them.
Yes, she said that the food in this restaurant is very good, is what she said. But yeah, it's been nice being able to do that.
Yeah.
We didn't really do Christmas food, but it was, it's just been. It sort of became a joke where it's like we did Christmas as frugally as possible because like this is from like No, it's this I picked out from Oxfam, and I just love the. I'll just show you. Just exposed from complete with easy to follow instructions sticker on it, which trying to get it so you don't get the glare. But
sorry, pull the screen up.
Yeah, it was nice being able to get it from here instead of just.
I was just walking to the allotment, so it's not the video catching up quite quickly.
Yeah, which never mind. If you find you are breaking up too much, I am doing this. I am recording this on YouTube as well, so you're welcome to watch along later. But I'm aware everyone's been busy, so I've kind of just been doing this as a me broadcasting to the world thing.
It was just the
Yeah, but well, give my love to Maddie, and
nothing else.
have fun with the allotments.
I'm happy to carry on if you can still hear me.
Yeah, I can just about. Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
So, oh, did you like the battle bar?
Yes, we haven't tried it yet. We've had we're saving it for maybe New Year's. It's a treat to look forward to. But we've been looking through the book, and we're going to try a couple of the recipes this week.
Yes, I must admit, I actually haven't read the book yet. It was inspired by a friend of mine who's vegan, and so she had the original Bosch book, and I saw that and thought, I thought that'd be fun.
Yeah, the recipes look really good. There looks to be some very tasty ones in there.
But, let me know. I might get a copy myself because, as I said, I haven't.
Yeah. But, there's a couple of pudding ones in there you might like. Peanut butter and jelly drinks.
Peanut butter and jelly drinks, did you say?
Yeah.
Okay, that's an interesting way to do things.
I thought you might be quite intrigued to try it.
Yeah, I mean the one thing I've been meaning to try for a while, and admittedly this is not something that Maddie would have any interest in, is there's a thing called army stew. It's like a Korean thing.
Yes, spam.
Yes. But you can now get vegan spam, so maybe you could make that for her as well.
I'm sure not entirely convinced that you'll be your target audience for this one, but
no, it's more just out of entertainment because I have noticed the Spam Corporation or whoever makes it, they have really gone all out on their website to make it into like an ingredient for fancy cooking. Like there's even a section on their website for restaurant inspired, and there's a lot of like you saw like Japanese almost sushi type things, but like with a land meat. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Yeah, I've been meaning. This all started off because somebody pointed out on the Twitter for their UK thing, the recipe options were just awful. It was literally just put some spam with some noodles, and I was like, I already knew about Korean army stew, and I thought, hang on, you can do something else with this. I looked on the website, and the main website has really good options. I was like, why did you guys not do this? It was it felt like you've taken all this time to get a bunch of chefs involved, and then you just haven't done it for your UK section. It's like, do you think we just won't trust it? But, it's but there is because of things like Korean army stew, they do actually have they're actually making a vegan version.
Okay.
And this is being pushed by I'm not sure if it's them, or I think they're doing it in conjunction with an Asian company because they want to sell it, and I find that fascinating. But there will soon be vegan spam.
I'm not quite sure what uptake it's going to get other than the initial curiosity. But you don't know.
I think it is basically so that you can make army stew without having to, have anything.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on a minute. I think I know what that big lever's for. So you've got like in the film.
Yeah.
You've got the rotating number plates.
Ah.
So that he goes in there. So you've got your 007, and then there's just enough tension for looks of it, just to stop it from sliding around on its own.
I like that. Don't press the big red lever, and it actually changes the number plate, so it doesn't bring up any guns.
No, actually looking at it, I think that might be when you have to do yourself manually. Just get the
Okay.
instructions. Doesn't look like there's. Oh, hang on. I don't know. I'm just trying. I'm. No, it looks like the big red lever is going to be for the headlight mounted machine guns, and this bit you're just going to have to twiddle yourself. I suppose it's probably too small a mechanism to try and do on its own, but yeah. Anyway, it's this one has been quite different from the Land Rover. The Land Rover was seen as being an especially complicated one, but I mean, I'm not sure if you were on the call when I was trying to actually. I had sort of two sets of gearing and just trying to. You had to sort of bend them into place. There was even like an animation on the website to make it clear what you needed to do. Yeah, I think that was. No, this is much more building it from the ground up. It's been much less. Less scary. Which is also why it's kind of gone quicker. But
yeah, that's fair enough.
I feel like I should probably actually tweet this playlist to Oxfam to say, oh, hey, look, I built a thing, and well, like I said, it's been nice being able to to have presents that didn't just come from Amazon, because it's just that's kind of almost too easy. I felt a bit bad getting your present from Amazon just because it was. I know Maddie would prefer me not to, but it was because. There's another present coming. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but that was one which I couldn't get to you because, yeah, with the whole tier 4 thing, I literally got here. Like the night of no, the day when they announced the new restrictions. So I was very lucky to get here, and I mean, again. I did maybe perhaps break the rules a little bit. No, I'm not wrong. Just trying to make sure I've got this right, and I'm just not 100% clear if I have. So there's a bit there that pushes in. Yeah, slight design flaw there. I think it sort of it doesn't quite straighten up properly, so I need to make sure I've got that right. That's not good. Oh, I see what I've done. Yeah, I just realized what I've done. I put something on backwards. Never mind. There we go. That's fixed the problem. Sorry, because it was buckling a little bit, and now it is not. So there's your rotating number plate. Oh, I think we've lost Rhiannon, unfortunately, but never mind. We'll continue to ramble for the entertainment of everyone who will be watching it later. And so that. Hang on. It does help if I do them in the right order. So that one there, and that one there, and then no, I need the longer ones. Well, next time I do one of these, I'm definitely going to make use of that tripod that John from work gave me, because trying to scoot round this one is not, I mean, it's working okay, but actually having one that's actually basically a crane arm will make doing that a lot easier. And it means I can actually get it right over what I'm doing rather than having to sort of do it like this, because the one I've got does not have a macro arm. I mean, fit one, but I've never seen separated macro arms for some reason. I mean, I suppose it's just putting too much strain on pivots that were not designed to do that, which is fair enough. Especially as I have the tripod, it's just I didn't consider it too effing heavy. What am I doing now? So those are the bits of the bumper. So I need those two, another one of those, and some of those. Okay. So there we go, and it slots in there, and you've got your, there you go, your front bumper. So we're just looking more and more like a DB9 as we go ahead, which is, well, literally the objective. So, and then the next bit, looking at it, yeah, this is going to be a lot easier when I get home, when I can actually show it where there's not almost too much natural light. Where's the next bit? So these were usually for, I think I've seen these used for like a lot of the space, it's the space setting ones. I do wonder, I mean, that's sort of an interesting question, is how do they create a new Lego part? I mean, do they find a model that needs it and send it over to the part design department, or does the part design department issue a whole bunch of new designs and then they decide which models to use it on? I mean, I'm genuinely curious which way around it goes, because I mean, I've got, sure you saw earlier the the shark doodad. With that, I'm pretty sure there's a core piece of his little, hang on, let me make sure that that's supposed to be that way around, I think. Yeah, so that is, yeah, yes. There's a core part of his little, whatever you'd call it, runabout thingy, which the whole thing's based around, and it doesn't look like it would really do anything else other than be front end of a little aqua ship thingy. Right, so here's where we get to the bit with, so there's the front end of the, yeah, so this is definitely going to be for the front mounted machine guns. So as you can see, I tilt the red switch handle here, and that will pop your machine guns out and then pop them back down again. There's probably going to be something to bump it up against it so it doesn't go too far. So if it does go too far, it seems to strain the mechanism a little bit. So anyway, the diagram shows it down during construction. So, and then there's a bit to lock it in place. So this seems to be very much the way that this is done, is sort of like a bunch of levers and then some bits to go around it to stop it from popping out, which is great, but it does also mean that we ended up like with the little yellow bits from the first section where they go missing. So, never mind, because it was, I mean, no one will ever, well, you lot will know, but you won't tell anyone. So I don't think we're one piece short. I think we're in the same situation we were previously, where there were bits, well, we're one piece short, never mind. I'm sure we can work it. I'm sure we can handle it. But there were bits from previous sections that didn't go together quite properly. I mean, it would have been nice if they could have inventoried the bags, but I mean, maybe that would just be, I mean, maybe that's something they can start doing soon. I mean, I suppose I could tweet to Lego and go, could you inventory the bags individually? That would be great. But I'm a big boy, I can work it out. So those two bits, those 2 pins. So we're getting, it is much more car-like now, so that's nice. I mean, we've reached the point where I'm assuming putting the engine in, and then not sure we'll be for section 4, but wheels are, so we definitely have the wheels. We've got those. So we're actually going to be able to, you know, push it around if we feel so inclined. There we go. Hang on. No, I've got it right. Sorry, it's all a little bit where you say, oh, there's a little, everything's sort of slotting into each other. I suppose. I wonder how much math goes into the structural stuff. I mean, do they just sort of build a model and give it a good shake, or do they? I don't know. But these are the secrets of the master builders, I suppose. I mean, it's sort of questions about general engineering, I suppose. But it's all locked down now, so that's to stop. Yeah, that stops the mechanism going up too far. I mean, it's something you're going to have to be gentle with, I think, but just pushing over a little bit. Yeah, it's fine. I mean, that's the stress point, but it's not something you can be. This is a kit designed for adults, so you're not going to be stressing it too much. That one, and might again be one short in this pack, which, yeah, I mean, to be fair, the Oxfam guys did pretty well with it. They managed to keep most of it in the right bags. So if I just need to rifle through them occasionally, I mean, I'm okay with that. And like I said, if there's any bits missing, then it should be fine. I don't want to go into bit boxing if I have to. Shoot, we may. It's maybe the point where we need. I mean, put one piece on somewhere. I don't think I have, because we need one of those, and we haven't got it. There should be 3 of them in. I can only find 2. I can't. Bag. 3 empty. Aha, I think. Well, that'll do for the moment, and I'm in the process of sorting bits about this length for the main collection. So even if we get to the point of having to put them in, it's like it's fine. These things happen. What am I looking for now? I'm looking for these bits. So hang on, where do those go? Oh, I see. That's to get the D10. So there's a little gap in it to allow those to go through, which is, I assume those are for clipping on the windscreen. I'm not sure. Not sure yet, but we'll see. I need to remember when they asked me to put the little yellow studs on, which, yeah, this is a bit strange when it's sort of vaguely asymmetrical like that. So it's like one little stud, not 2. It's like, all right, fine, but why 1? It's like, well, don't ask too many questions of the Lego overlords. So a lot of the stuff where they need to do it at non-standard angles, they put them in these little clips, which actually seems to work reasonably well. And so wing mirrors, not sure. Not wing mirrors yet, but like a mount for wing mirrors maybe. And also make sure you rotate these the right way round, because otherwise you get stuck and you have to pull it apart, which, as we found earlier, we did that last time. But so we're now onto the engine bay. Yeah, okay. So I'm happy that. Yeah, we reached. Literally, the bit that was just stuck to the piece that I just pulled out was exactly the one I need to find now, which is that bit. So that actually does confirm that I put the right piece on the right area. So I'm good with that. Oh no, all of my careful knolling has come to nothing on account of the fact that the bits are getting mixed up, but it's fine. I'm only having to rifle through the bag occasionally rather than every time. So that's to lock down, yeah, machine gun mechanism. So we're doing the engine bay now? Yes. Yeah, so we're now onto the engine bay. So we'll actually have something that looks vaguely like a, I don't know, what is this, a V6, V8? Much as I'm tempted to stop and look, waiting for people to thumb through Wikipedia articles is never particularly interesting. And I'll be honest, I'm too lazy to do proper editing. I mean, I know I should. I know I've reached the point where possibly these should be properly edited, but yeah. I mean, that's the next step, I suppose, but I probably need something a little bit better than just Panopto. I mean, Panopto's fine for doing lectures and things, but essentially it's a. I mean, they would be the first to admit that it is a bulk editing suite. At least they should admit it, because that's what it is. It is for bulk editing. You wouldn't want to have it for. You wouldn't want to have it for trying to do editing in anger the same way you do with say, Camtasia. Which, yeah, and I do get that. Though for our purposes, just get it recorded. What you're saying is more important than how it's presented. And I know that's a bit much, but you should see the, I mean, we had something like we were doing something like 7,000 Zoom recordings a week. It was ridiculous. So at that point, there's a degree of just do it. Just don't faff around, just get your work done. Anyway, two of those, and two of those, and two of those. So I'm also aware that the way I'm doing the microphone at the moment may not sound perfect, because I'm going to be, well, quite frankly, getting quite close to it at times, which needs must, I'm afraid. It's so because I'm doing this at home, and because I haven't got space to do it upstairs. I'm doing it at mum's. I haven't got space to do it upstairs. I'm not using the mic because my little Surface only has one USB socket, which means travel. I mean, it's a travel device, so I just, yeah, whatever. So the microphone is actually on the camera. It's literally just either side of here, which, yeah, as I said, apologies if you do get some issues with. Oh fuck! That's so cute. I've just realised what the pistols are for. The pistols are for. You can't see it yet, so I'm going to leave that as a surprise, because that's such a cute design decision they've made that I think that's actually hilarious. So you'll see it in a second. I'm not going to spoil it for you, but you will see it in a second what they've done, and it is quite frankly fantastic. So I feel bad now because it's like, I want to talk about it. I want to talk about what they've done and I can't because, I mean, tell you what, why don't you at home, while I'm doing this, try and work out what is going on as I'm assembling it. And then you can see if you can work out what they're doing. So let's get all these bits together. So stick these in. That should be a great smooth top piece. I mean, I'm sure there's curious what the technical names for this kind of stuff is, but there we go. And then so I think you can work out where we're going with this. Maybe you can, maybe you can't, but and we want to have these bits. Yeah, if you try to do the whole camshaft thing that the yeah, that requires I pay sufficient attention to what I'm doing, which I didn't, so it should be like that. Okay. So we've got those on there, and can you see where this is going? I hope so. That's a really cute way of doing it. So you see this for the wiring harness for the engine. So, well, wiring harness, possibly the, well, I'd actually have to look at the car itself, but that's for, no, this would be for the fuel intakes for each piston. So, there you go, there's a little V8 engine. And you use the pistols for that. That's hilarious. That's a really cute way to do it because I mean they sort of look like, I mean, this is literally what a greebly is and is for. So, and then that pops in. Hey, is that designed so the engine can actually pop out? No, it's not, but it would be cute if it was. There you go. So there's your little fake V8 with the pistols as the. Come on. Hang on. It's all falling apart. Make sure I've got this in. Just make sure I haven't missed anything. Yeah, I'm just trying to check because there's a little. Yes, I have missed something. I've missed this piece, which is supposed to, yeah, well, that makes sense. So that's actually supposed to, right, so the engine actually does. Looks like the engine's actually starting to come out. Well, I mean, sure. I mean, it's cool that you can pull the engine out. I mean, that's why you've got these little bits here, these little single knob bits, so you could pull it out relatively easily. But I think it's also to stop if you get it's like the system gets tangled, maybe. Yeah, because otherwise it's, I don't know. Or it might just be so you don't have to force it so hard. That's another thing. But yeah, so you've now got proper, what looks like a proper engine. That's I mean, it's a cute way to do it. It's not the fanciness of the sort of the camshaft based nonsense that we had last time, but it's not the same scale. It's a smaller unit, so it doesn't really matter as much. But so, that, and then, oh, I see, that's the other end of the engine doodad. I'm using technical words. So I wonder what that was for, and now I know, and actually, yeah. Come on, in on that. Not sure about that. Not sure it's got quite a good enough bend radius. I would have actually put a little bit more plastic on. It's fine. And there's going to be a bit to push it down. It'll be fine in a second. I mean, it might, go be careful that it might pop because you can see it's under some strain. I mean, you can probably see this, it's slightly wonky, which would indicate it's under some strain. It's fine. It's fine. And what we're looking for next. So I'm looking for some last bits for the engine. Which is a darker kind of Lego. Okay. See, this is what I mean about there being difference. The fact that there's a light Lego and the dark, the light grey and the dark grey and the silver is sometimes a bit confusing. So I reckon that some of the darker grey bits, which I need, are going to this bag. But basically, anything I don't use today is just to get stuff back into this bag, which is what I've been doing as we're going along. It's just if I end up getting stuck, I'll just turf it into the next bag. Yeah, but it's, I mean, there's also the possibility that there's a possibility I'm going blind, and there's a possibility that I'm actually looking for a piece that doesn't exist on account of the fact that it's not actually a different color the way I think it is. I mean, I think, yeah, I mean, there are these bits, so that must be right. And I think that there's, so, sorry, I keep stopping halfway through what I'm saying. I'm just making sure that I've got the right kind of dark gray bits, which, Let's see. I mean, if I don't, I don't, or I can just put them in if they're wrong. I don't care as much. Just know. Oh, and also, just to make it even more confusing, there are these which are technically transparent but look grey. So those I have to make sure I don't mix up either. And I've been trying very hard to avoid the rusty rustle noises because I know how bad that sounds on camera. But needs must, when I find these little bits, which hang on, I know it's, I know, I suspect, I'm 100%, I'm 90% sure it's in here. So just one little one by one, single knob. I need to look up what they call them. The little studs, that's what they're called. I keep calling them knobbles, but the bit on top of the Lego piece itself that connects to the piece above is called a stud. But I kind of got used to calling them knobbles because they look a bit like, there we go, right. Apologies about the rustle noises because I know that, as I said, it sounds terrible, but it's fine. I mean, I can see the light grey bits that they obviously put in thinking they were the dark grey bits, which is, again, whatever. I mean, it's, I'm going to keep the box for this one, but I am not going to disassemble it. This is going to live on my shelf because honestly, what am I going to make out of it? What am I going to make out of all this Lego that's going to be as cool as DB9? I'm sure there'll be something, but I am less inclined to think about what it is. Okay, so long bits. Yeah, so that does overshoot, so that is right. And then there is one of those. So that's to lock that, hold that into place. So that stops it, should stop it moving about, I hope. That's the next bit. This one. Yeah, so there's little gaps here and there. They need to be sort of handled, which is why you end up with these holes and things. And you just need to make, yeah, there is always a perspective shift issue with Lego, but just need to make sure you get it right. So and make sure you've actually pushed it over enough, because it's just, yeah, otherwise you just won't fit together. And you've got these pieces, so we're now getting to the, I mean, let's see if that one. Damn it. Sorry, mistake. No, hang on. Yes, I have. Okay, it's fine. We'll fix it. These are in the wrong place, I think. Hang on. Yeah, they weren't quite over enough, which is fine, but that now means we can get these bits back on. Now that bit slides in. Again, not entirely sure. I'm not quite sure we got that one shiny bit, but it's how they decided to do it, and who am I to argue with the brick overlords? Just again, hop him one over so it does fit properly. So 1 second. What the hell? Hang on. So put it back there. So again, it's slightly asymmetrical, which is it? Yes, no, not sure. It'll always be a little bit wonky. It's Lego. I mean, you know, this isn't a sort of Bandai special edition or whatever. I mean, this is a system designed to be pulled apart and put together by kids without them, you know, gluing their faces together. So yeah, I'm a little annoyed they're with two random pieces at the end. I think what I might do is just find somewhere just in the model, just tuck them in, stick them somewhere, just like, I don't know. Actually, no, I know exactly where I put them. I'll stick them in the I'll stick them in the boot and say they're like, you know, lights for the boot. I mean, if I don't know if the DB9 had those, but it should do. This reminds me of something I heard years ago, which I think it's a US specific regulation rather than us, because we're not, you know, quite frankly, so insane, but well, so insane that we would need it. But apparently there's a requirement that all boots in, you know, the boot of a car or the trunk or whatever you want to call it, from wherever you are in the world, on an American car, you have to be able to open it from the inside in case, or essentially in case you get locked in there, which, I mean, I don't know, maybe that's for a specific kind of car, because I'm thinking of like a sedan, not a sedan, but like one where the boot is separate from the rest of it, because I'm always used to like, I suppose hatchbacks were just always more popular in this country, or more popular with my parents, because, it kind of makes more sense. Yeah. Anyway, there we go. So fuel tank? Fuel tank. Yes, that's what I'm going to say it is. And that, where's he going? I see. What am I looking for? Looking for a right angle. We end up with another piece that's gone AWOL. Yeah, we got 2 more AWOL pieces, which yes. Also just need to make sure I straighten up the aesthetic pieces. So yeah, I'm not quite sure why that's separated like that, but come on, little right angle piece, where are you? There you are. Near the little beige doodad. There we go. And that one will go in there. Come on. Oh, and not that it's, I suppose, the most interesting thing in the world, but I have finally bit the bullet and bought the Sims 4, but that's because it's finally on Steam and it cost, what, £5? So I thought, yeah, fine, whatever, I give in. I'll have a go at it. Wait, what? Oh, just realized there's 2 different sizes of medieval arch in this. 2 different sizes of medieval arch in this DB9. I know what I mean. They are very clearly the old medieval arches, which is why I will keep referring to them that, because I find it funny. But then we have the grill, which is a whole bunch of. There's 7 pieces to the grill, which I don't know if that was just. No, it's coincidental. It's too random a piece to make a 007 reference. It wouldn't quite make enough sense for anyone to care. I mean, I like the idea of it being a 007 reference, but I don't think it is. But there you go. Here's your shiny grill. I mean, that said, I'm sure there's a grill piece you could have had, but it's probably not to the right scale. Let's see. So. There we go. So there's your grill. And right, fine. That slides in because you've got that little bit there, which I think is actually just basically a molding line, but yeah, may as well make use of, may as well exploit a part of the design. Come on, make sure I've got all those damn things lined. Just make sure I've got it properly symmetrical because it's not quite. Oh, I'm not sure if you can see, but they aren't 100% lined up. Let's see if I can, how well I can fix that. I think. Close enough. I mean, it's very slight, but it's just enough that it makes it look uneven. It's just enough to annoy me, but the only way you could fine. I mean, it's screen printing onto Lego. I suspect it's probably not as easy as you think to get it 100% on point. So next piece I need. Oh, sorry. I mean, yeah, this is doing it this way is kind of work, but it has also kind of meant that I tend to lean over the camera a bit. But we'll see. We'll probably do this again next time, just because you can actually a lot clearer see what the model is. But I am aware that when we do the little ones, we'll really have to bring it in. So we're going to have to be creative with the camera angles. And there you go. There's your little Aston Martin logo, which slots over there. So you've got it over your grill, which I've done wrong. Wait, hang on. Yes, which I have done wrong because I should have done that, which makes more sense. And there is something very specifically Aston Martin about that grille. I mean, I know a lot of cars have it, but somehow it just makes me think of it. Which may just be good marketing. It may be a relatively common piece, but somehow I always think of it as being an Aston Martin type thing. So we're actually getting to the point of building up the front of the model. So one little preview thing for when we do the proper Lego mod, the other Lego models is, as opposed to this being not proper Lego. Well, I suppose it's branded stuff, so there is a little bit of that. But when we get to the point of doing the actual, the vintage, that's the one, the vintage Lego model, is that the Technic stuff often has a thing where it's like, oh, if you have I have the optional motor, you can do, I have the optional motor, so we can actually do some of the extension parts, which will be fun. I mean, the old motors are damn clunky, so it's going to look a bit dumb, but you know, it'll. Sorry, that fell into it somehow. I mean, I couldn't get it out. That would have just infuriated me. Yeah, they do look a bit clunky, especially in comparison to the more modern, the more modern Mindstorms motors, which are much sleeker, I suppose would be the right word. I mean, I'm not sure how much like. I'm not sure how much motor technology has improved over the past 20, 25, 30 years. Right, hang on. I'm not quite sure I fully understand what it wants me to do next. Well, it also helps if I. So those little yellow bits again. I keep missing the little yellow bits. And so those. Hang on. Oh, hang on. I think. I mean, yeah, I suppose those are like, those are the machine gun barrels, which I suppose it's not supposed to be like, as much as anything in James Bond is subtle. I think it's supposed to be subtle. It's not supposed to be a brandishing at them at people. It's shooting people surreptitiously. As much as someone can when driving a DB9 armed up to the eyeballs. And yeah, there's another piece going into the other box. At least I hope that has. every time I have to do this, it's a moment of paranoia of, have I dropped it? Is it missing? It said it was complete. What do I do now? It also helps if I'm paying attention because I can see it now. It's that piece. That's fine. I wasn't paying enough attention, which is, you know, not that unusual for me. So, I mean, yeah, that's I suppose the headlights, I mean, I was expecting the headlight, well, those I was expecting to be the headlights, but I suppose they still go on somewhere. I'm not sure. Well, they must go on somewhere. They're in the kit. I mean, it's, there we go. Oh, and just an opportunity to say fuck Kevin Spacey, but not to hell with Kevin Spacey is the word I'm looking for, is the phrasing I'm looking for, because something I kind of thought that was fun that Frank Underwood did was he had a ring he'd tap on the table whenever he left a room, you know, this meeting is over, tap, which was fun, but okay, so little bit of a design issue there, which is going to be fine because there's going to be time to push it in, is just making sure that and also a bit of hair stuck in it, which probably isn't helping. Just making sure that is aligned correctly so that it doesn't catch. You see, I'm not sure if you can see there, but it's just catching on that little corner right here, which, yeah, when the body is built around it will be fine, but it's just an annoyance at the moment. Because you'll be seeing this. Yeah, there's a structural bit around that, so that annoyance will go away, which is nice. Because an annoyance that doesn't go away is, well, that one equals madness. So apologies, I am leaning over the camera. Let me just get all the bits I need so that I don't have to do it again. Oh, and then at the risk of advertising a YouTuber who is far in excess of my ability to get anyone to pay attention. I mean, I wouldn't even call myself a YouTuber. I'm just a bored person doing this. But Forgotten Weapons recently did a thing on the various firearms used in Star Wars. I mean, like that were properly used. And I suppose it's a fence. I mean, yeah. Which was interesting because it was this little sort of silly little sort of bang bang. Missed a bit there. This little sort of like bang bang sci-fi movie, and so then no one really thought much of it. Whereas now it's like, OMG, everything is canon. Everything is canon up to the eyeballs. Which, yeah. Sorry, just making sure that I haven't made some kind of other horrific mistake, which I am 99% sure I have not. Well, I have, because I didn't want those. I wanted a different piece, but yeah, so because it was just a silly little sci-fi movie and no one really thought much of it, most of the weapons in it are modified World War II weapons. So, I mean, say, for example, Han Solo's blaster, which I'm sure one of you knows off by heart what it would be, and I'm sure I did at one point as well. It's a Blast Tech DL77 yeah, that is a broom handle is famously a broom handle Mauser, and is actually, the gun has a history. They didn't go into the history of it because that's a different level of nerd, but the gun has a history in Hollywood. It was actually a Frank Sinatra movie, I think, at one point, but Anyway, yeah, so they were all essentially old stock weapons that this props company had, and so they just picked them all out because they had the right look for what they were doing, and they had, as is using the phrase that's used in the industry, greeblies attached to them. Greeblies being interesting complications to the design, essentially. Greeblies. What is saying now? Shiny ones. I think those are shiny ones. Yeah, there's a degree of using shiny and not shiny, which I think, yeah, again, so there's like 5 different kinds of gray, which is infuriating. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Star Wars guns. Yeah, so they were just, so they're just like random things. Like it's like, oh, the blasters, the rebel blasters are Sten guns with the barrel shaved off them and all this kind of thing. Essentially, there's a whole bunch of guns where they just went, it's a World War II gun, but they took the barrel off it. Seems to be the way a lot of it was done, which, yeah, sure. I mean, nowadays this stuff is rare, but that's because there were, millions were made, but not that many survived because no one really cared to take care of them. Which is why they're now rare, which is why they're now valuable. I mean, it's just the way of things. Like, you can't keep everything forever and ever and ever. I mean, you could try, but hang on. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go into the next bag again. Yeah, into the next bag. So there. Yeah, so but it has ended up with things with people trying to make one thing that Ian from Forgotten Weapons was, it's a little distressed by the idea of, was people built taking a functional broom handle Mauser and drilling parts into it to make it into a DL77 or whatever it was. And he's just like, just don't do that. And I wholeheartedly agree. Of just, are you insane? No, you do not want to do that to a just get a resin mold, build it yourself, make a replica that way. Don't use the original parts. That's actually something where Star Wars fans have butt heads quite a lot with other fandoms, because it's, I gotta make it scene accurate. It's like, yeah, do you really? Can it not just look scene? Does it have to be scene accurate, or can it just look scene accurate? I mean, you can do a lot with replica parts. Yeah, the other classic the one where it causes a lot of tension. It's between classic camera collectors, which many of, I'll admit. Maybe there are more, I'm not sure. But the classic camera collectors, because Luke Skywalker's lightsaber is built from a vintage flash gun, from what I can remember. Sorry, I'm gonna have to concentrate for a second just to make sure that I can get all these bits right. This is one of those ones where I'm gonna have to make sure I get it 100% right. I mean, I always need to make sure I get 100% right, but you know what I mean. Start talking down in a second. Hang on. Let me get this right so I can get the secondary headlights in. Primary headlights? I suppose it's better that secondary headlights, the ones that are the machine guns, which You could probably fit another stud in there just to make it more, just to emphasize it a little bit. Hang on, make sure. No, it's definitely that way round, which actually does make sense from it being a barrel, but I don't know, I might add another stud in. I just don't want to jam it. I mean, anyway. So yeah, Luke Skywalker's lightsaber is built from the battery pack for a vintage flash gun, and there are less and less of these around, and the classic camera guys are very pissed off that essentially they're being cut up to make props. And there's a degree of what the fuck are you doing to this vintage piece of history? And it's like, oh, we're making look at Star Wars. Like, shut up, stop doing that. Yeah, it's especially with that kind of thing. You can do a lot of good things with resin. You can make your own parts and whatnot. You'd be better off just, yeah. I mean, surely that'd be more fun to like machine the bits yourself to make it look right. I mean, there's a definite challenge in that. You can make it, I mean, there's screen accurate, and then there is the screen accurate, and then I suppose there's like Canon accurate, which are not necessarily the same thing. Like the props don't have to look 100% up close, whereas if you're making a hero version or whatever, then why not go whole hog, especially with things like CNC milling machines now, where yeah, you may not have access to one yourself, but I'm sure there's a maker space near you where they can at least, I suppose you could at least ask the milling guy to make it for you. Just do it that way. Hell, you can actually 3D print a lightsaber these days. Well, there's even a thing that Star Wars land at Disney World where you can have a lightsaber made for you. You sort of go through your Jedi training and all that. I mean, yeah, there's also the fact that everyone realizes it is an insane weapon to try and do. And the fact that imagine if you had, for example, a video game which actually made it behave accurately. It would be, you'd slice your own what's-its off every time. Right, so that's, just make sure I've got it pushed in enough everywhere, because you don't, yeah, there's a degree of give with Lego. You just need to pushing it on so it's okay, but you can see there's, and you can see there's a little bit of flex in it. There'll always be a little bit of flex. You just need to be careful of this. Wait, hang on. Oh, okay. Well, that's a shame. We have actually got to the end of Act 3, because all these bits should have been in bag 4. Bag 4 should have had a lot more in it. So bag 4, it'll be the grand finale. We put wheels and whatnot on. But it is looking, I mean, essentially you could just put the hood on and you've got yourself, yeah. Let's put our little man back in, just because it amuses me to have him here, even though he is not, well, as I said, my headcanon is that he is a test track driver. So, but yeah, we've actually got the frame of the DB9. I mean, I need to actually look at a real one. Like, is it so linear? I can't remember now, actually. You know what? Let's just have a little look. I mean, if I just stop showing for a second, I'm curious, and I'm sure you guys are too. So, DB9 Aston Martin. Yeah, these are all new ones. Hang on, let me find a vintage one. DB9 60s, yeah. Right, okay, so let me just share my screen. So yeah, just out of curiosity was what it looks like. So yeah, I mean, if you compare to that to the one here. I mean, admittedly, it's not. Yeah, I mean, it's not bad for a Lego model. I'll give you that. This is not bad for a Lego model, and well, what I just showed you. Though it kind of feels like it's more like an American car, like more like a 50s sort of land yacht kind of thing. But whatever, I'm happy with it. That's actually been a lot of fun to make. So let me just stop sharing that. Just to show you again before we stop for today, and we'll finish. The grand finale will be tomorrow. So to show you where we got to. So we've actually got the front grille. You've got your 007 doodad, which you have to. It's jamming a little bit. That is annoying, but yeah, I think that's just so there's enough tension to keep it in place. Yeah, and I still love the. Let's just pop those a little bit further in. I still love the little pistols in the engine, which now when you see there, it almost doesn't matter what they are because it is actually quite nice. I like that. And just sort of being able to look down and go, oh, there's some bits to V8, V6. Well, at least this model is. But that's going to be fun when we get it up and running. I don't want to spring it too much, but oh, I see. Hang on. So you see that? I just realized what that's for. That's for so that I don't know. I didn't think about that. That's for your bulletproof windshield, bulletproof screen over the rear windscreen. Yeah. No, that's been a lot of fun. I was kind of hoping to get all those wheels on and stuff, but those will just have to go back into the box. So at least you get to see what they look like. And actually, for Lego wheels, for Lego tires, these are really nice ones. They're actually, I mean, I've got some of the old vintage stuff which looks like it's from a cart, but these are actually lovely. And you've got these are the most un-Lego pieces here, the spin death wheel things. Yeah, so tomorrow's cleaning everything up and then we'll be done. So thank you all very much for watching. And yeah, I will see you later. So